Hey everyone, welcome to High School Dropout's advice. If you need subtitles, please click on the CC button. Usually it takes up to 2 hours after uploading for the subtitles to appear. Today we are talking about IDEX, also known as Ideanomics. One of my subscribers asked me for some input on the stock. Feel free to post me stocks or topics you want me to make a video about. As long as I can find the time and when it's interesting for other viewers, I will cover it. Ideanomics has quadrupled within a year and a lot is going on. The stock was founded in 2004 and had to change its name, ownership, business model and CEO several times. Ideanomics has received criticism for frequently changing its name and its promotional story, relying heavily on buzzwords and hype. The company was formerly called 7 Stars Cloud Group, and before that WeCast, On Demand Holdings and China Broadband. In 2019, Ideanomics bought a majority share of the Delaware Board of Trade, a startup penny stock exchange. The exchange was closed in April 2020. Most recently, Ideanomics has shifted its focus from financial service to the electric vehicle sector. In 2020, the company was the target of multiple reports by short sellers questioning the existence and viability of its electric vehicle business. This is what we read on Wikipedia. But I'm not here just to read you something from Wikipedia. We have to dig deeper and find out more to shape our own opinion about this company. Just because it had questionable and often changing stories does not mean that a stock or investment is terrible. On their website, we see that their focus is on mobility and capital. Let me explain a little bit further. So with the mobility, this would cover electric vehicles, tractors, motorcycles, batteries, charging stations, and other EV-related businesses. With capital, I found out they mean using AI and blockchain technology to become a modern title company. This means using smart contracts to settle purchases of properties and assets. They also want to be part of financial solutions with AI and machine learning. So there are subcategories under the mobility and capital subject, which this company is focused on. Let me show you that they have 9 subcategories ranging from electric tractors and electric motorcycles to AI and blockchain financial solutions. It's not easy to connect the companies together and find the focus of the company here. Ideanomics is very diversified. Diversified is not necessarily good or bad. We know that Google, Apple and Amazon are very diversified, but they are huge companies. Let's dig deeper and pull out their financial earnings to find out more. We have an increase of net loss from 96.829 million in 2019 to 106.043 million in 2020. Looking closer into the numbers, we see that the revenue had decreased from 44.5 million to 26.7 million. We also see that the cost of revenue has increased. The overall gross profit had declined from 43.1 million to 2 million. Let's find out why we had this decline in gross profit and why we have a spike in the cost of revenue. Cost of revenue is the cost needed to generate the revenue. It can be the cost of the material, labor or production. We see that the company is selling electric vehicles and makes 18 million in revenue. The charging stations and battery made 488,000 and the digital advertising made 1 million. To our surprise, we also see combustion engine vehicles. In the current year, the company earned revenues of 5.2 million from the sales of combustion engine vehicles. The sale of combustion engine vehicles is not the company's primary focus. However, from time to time, the company will sell combustion engine vehicles if a client places an order. The digital advertising business is based on the revenue from Grapevine. The company's business focus on digital advertising service was 1.6 million compared to 1.2 million in the prior year, an increase of 0.5 million or 39%. Grapevine is considered a non-core asset for Ideanomics. From their statement, we see that a 20 to 25% revenue comes from businesses and investments which they would not describe as their primary focus. Let us have a look how their gross profit looks like. We see a drop from 97% gross profit to 8%. We see that the combustion engine vehicles are only making 1% in gross profit and will overall lose the company money. Then we have 35% gross profit in digital advertising services. When I look into this business as a business owner, I would completely abandon the combustion engine vehicle business. It might push the revenue higher, but it's an unprofitable business. The digital advertising business is actually making money and might deserve more focus. But this is me talking. Maybe the CEO and the company have a different vision here. I try to show you that there is a lot of things going on in this company. Let me show you the list of companies Ideanomics is involved in. Many companies and investment from very small and not profitable companies to larger ones, ranging from the fintech industry to blockchain to electric vehicles in different countries. You see the US, Singapore, Cayman Islands, Hong Kong, China and the British Virgin Islands. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. We have some receivables of around 8.6 million, but we see a deduction of 1.219 million. Let me read this for you. In the year ended December 31st, 2020, the company increased its allowance for doubtful accounts by 1.2 million for the accounts receivable from the related party Guizhou Guangxi Green Environmentally Friendly Taxi Service Company. On top, we read that the taxi company owes another 2.3 million. So if they won't get the 1.2 million, I don't think they will get the 2.3 million from the same company. Let's try to figure out if part of their asset had increased. We see a drop of 12.9 million in 2019 to 7.5 million in 2020. There is a 5.2 million difference in the construction of the FinTech village on the second last row, as you can read here. I tried to find out why there is a 5.2 million drop, and I read this: asset retirement obligation. I'm not quite sure what is going on here. The way this is written is tough for me to understand. So I don't want to tell you something wrong. The whole financial report was very hard to read, and this is not the first financial report I read. The financial report contains 198 pages. It's one of the longest financial report I ever read. It felt like open a box, and inside the box is another box, and when you open that box, you find another box. Have a look at their financial report. We know that they acquired the Delaware Board of Trade Holding, and we see a net loss of 99.4 million. When I dig deeper about this acquisition, I read this: valued at over 18 million. So I try to understand how they end up losing 99.4 million, which is attributable to IDEX common shareholders. The more I read about the company, the more question marks I get. When you open one door, you get another 2 doors to open. When you open the next, you get 4 doors. This is how I feel. Let's have a quick look at the CEO. Maybe he's a genius and the company structure is not so difficult to navigate as it seems for me. I'm sure many of my viewers know more about this company and understand its structures, but I don't. Alf Poor is the current CEO of Ideanomics, and this is his work history. I did check the company he worked for. His biggest success was from 2002 to 2010, when he worked as the Chief Operating Officer for Religance. The company got sold in 2006 to HOL for 50 to 100 million. Then he spent 2 years at Web's Planet as a general manager. Then he has founded with a family member Percepto, which was a modern email client which did not succeed. He worked for 3 years and 9 months at Agendice, a French company generating less than 5 million in revenue per year, with an average culture, as you can see. Mr. Alf Poor worked 3 years as the Chief Operating Officer at Global Data Sentinel, a data security company based in New York with under 50 employees. At LinkedIn, we see 5 employees linked to this company. After 3 years, he got the job as the CEO of Ideanomics. Ideanomics, however, does not have any reviews yet on Glassdoor, so it's not that easy to find out the culture within this company. I made this video and I have more questions about this company now than I had before. And this also applies to their CEO and their investments in various companies. I know that the company is holding a lot of cash. According to Investor Place, the company is holding over 330 million in the bank. This is a lot of buying power, but we have to remember that this company is losing around 100 million a year. You can see those numbers. Those are in thousands, so you have to add 3 more zeros. I'm sorry if you stayed until this part of the video and hope for positive news about the stock. I know that negative information is not good for the likes, not good for my subscriber count and watch time of the video, but I have to remain honest to my viewers and subscribers. I did a Workhorse video in my early days and had warned about the company, but it was not well received. I will link it up here and in the description below. I researched Workhorse on February 10th or 11th and you can see what happened. So I hope few people could get out of the disaster. I have to admit, Ideanomics is a company that is involved in too many things where I get confused. As you all might know, one of Warren Buffett's advice: if you don't understand how the company works, don't invest in it. So I will take his advice, and if you understand the company and it's a clear buy for you, then please go ahead and buy. Anyways, for legal reasons, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a guy on YouTube. Do your own due diligence and remember that your money is your responsibility. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel where I update you about exciting stock news and investment opportunities. Thank you so much and see you hopefully in the next video. Thank you. Bye.